Okay, Calvin, we passed our one of our evals yesterday on retail sales. So I was pretty happy about that. All right, let me just setting up the stream, everyone. Okay, we are ready to go. Ready to go. All right. Do I dare tell everyone the truth? Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trader Room Plus, the FOMC Statement. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10 Minute Trades. Please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor. All the trades we discuss are for educational purposes only. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade carefully. All right, right now, the markets are pretty negative at the moment. Just at the last 10 minutes, there's been a negativity that has overtaken the markets. I'm watching the NQ and the ES. I guess I can't say, hi, Roz. Yeah, Roz, no problem at all. Okay, you let me know. And I thought that that was as good as I could beg for, if you understand what I mean. I thought it was a good counter, um, assuming I don't drop dead in the middle of this trade. All right, so let's get started, everyone. Let's be honest about this event. It has significant risk. Margins are raised at the brokers. Um, the NQ breakout is, in my opinion, the riskier setup than the trap trade. The trap trade has more than 2 years of being safe at the moment of the news. It's important to be really, really clear that when we say a trap trade is safe, it doesn't mean the trap trade is automatically a winning, profitable trade, but it means that you didn't get stopped out at the moment the news is released. And that's obviously very important on a trap trade because it means you exist long enough for the setup to take hold. So the concept with the trap trade is we expect after the news is released the market to move one direction and then it will move in another direction after the original move, and we're going to take our profit from the second direction. That's the concept behind a trap trade. Also, I'm setting up a simple MES reverse continuation. I've got three charts up. I've got an MES chart up, I've got an NQ, and an ES. All right. My MES, I'm setting up a reverse continuation, and I'll go for 20 ticks and 60 ticks, and I'll use a stop of 40 or 50. I'll use a stop of 50. This is just a scalp, all right? And I don't have to even go to it. It's just set up in case I want to do something. So a scalp on the MES, targets of 20 and 60. Honestly, your targets could be 15 and 30. It's just a scalp. So the idea is to, if there's a trend, to get in the market and have a trade to manage. That's the concept with a reverse continuation. Okay? Label it MES reverse or reverse continue, and then always choose the account that you're going to trade it in. Okay? Always choose the account you're going to trade it in. Now, on the NQ, the NQ breakout, let's look at the DMM. First off, let's look at what happened 2 sessions ago. 2 sessions ago. All right? I want to see what happened 2 sessions ago. Now, why is it a replay? I'll have to look at my notes. Maybe something happened to the trade room recording. We never do anything fake in a replay. If there's a replay, it just means something happened to the trade room recording. I never fake a replay. I would never do that. Just as a heads up. It was a beautiful reversal 2 sessions ago. On the ES, it went down, put us in the market long, and we had a fantastic reversal. Fantastic. Okay? I prefer the trap trade much more than the breakout. I'm going to say that over and over. So I realize that if a trap trade doesn't work, it's it's painful, right? But I think it has a better success rate than breakouts on this report. Keep in mind, on a report like this, you can absolutely blow up an account. It is the way it is. I'm going to trade the ES full size trap trade in our just passed PA account. What does PA stand for? Somebody tell me. Everybody uses the terminology PA account. And I don't know what that stands for. Is that stupid of me? Here's our little certificate presented to me for qualifying. I'm excited. I'm happy that we got by. Trading breakouts, trap trades, all normal news setups. Performance account. That's what it means. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you. PA, performance account. Okay. Let's take a peek at the DMM. I want to say hello to everyone watching us on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Hit the like button. You know the deal. Hit the like button so that millions of people get our YouTube streams. Now, when you look at the performance of the breakout, you could see it's not an easy trade because there are tremendous whipsaws on that trade. Okay? There can be tremendous whipsaws. We want a whipsaw. We want an ES whipsaw. That's exactly what you want on a trap trade. Whipsaws are good, all right? Because we want it to change direction. We want to get filled. We want it to change direction. That's what we'd like. Now, just as a heads up, if you're ever in a trap trade and you're out of control, you have no idea what's going on, you can't figure out what to do, and you see a ton of profit on your chart, just hit the close button and get out of the trade. Many times, if you just get confused and don't know what you're doing, I never recommend doing that because you don't get good fills when you hit the close button. But if you see a ton of profit and you just are confused, you don't know how to get out, you don't know what to do, hit the close button. Get out with a profit if you can. All right? So don't forget, you're allowed to do that. So I'm going to set up, and last session we set up ES and MES on this report, okay, as a trap. Now the MES, you can use a 50 stop, all right? You can use a 50 stop. I just want to look at something. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. Now, I would not hesitate on this report to make my stop bigger. If the market is not exploding, right? And should the market not be exploding and it's getting close to my stop, but it feels like the market's losing momentum, I would make my ES stop bigger if it would lead me to think I will survive. So on any trap trade, you can do that. You're not in stone. And I mean, trading isn't always in stone, okay? So a variety of things can happen on a trade like the FOMC. Very often, when the market's expecting crazy volatility, the exact opposite occurs, and you don't get a fill. I mean, it could happen. We've seen crazier things happen. So don't be discouraged if you get a trade and there's no fill. Then you keep an eye on your reverse continuations, and we'll see. Maybe there will be a trend that develops right after the news. Okay? And maybe we will see what looks like a direction to get into a trade with the reverse continuation. So you might want to put a reverse continuation on any chart that you feel you might want to trade that instrument after the news. Obviously, that means NQ because we have a breakout, and that might mean ES because we have a trap trade. So to set up the trap trade, right-click the chart. Click on Strategies. Double-click Trap Trade. Position 1 is a 1, normally position 2 is a 1. That means one contract on each target, each tier. We're going to trigger this event 13:59:55. A trap trade is the only trade that I don't get ultra worried if it fills me early. Because I'm thinking, okay, I'm early. The news might not even be out, but we're still going to very possibly get changes in direction. So I never panic if a trap trade fills me early, and I generally wouldn't exit the trade early. Quickly, in other words. Whereas with a breakout, when you get filled before the news, because you're guaranteed looking to go in one direction on a breakout, it makes me much more uncomfortable. And I'm more prone to exit and put the brackets back on if I can to get in at the right time. 13:59:55, we're activating the trap. Our stop is 25. Tier 1, I'm using 35. Tier 2 is 55. I'm labeling it ES trap. And then I'm going to trade it in my new account. And that account's up $21 from a monster gold trade that I made this morning. What would I maybe be looking for an after the news trade? A higher or low that the market gets pushed into, okay? A higher or a low that the market gets pulled or pushed towards, all right? Setting up a second setup on the trap trade ES chart, just one position, and I'll do a 40 tick target and a 40 tick stop on a scalp. ES reverse continue. Nitin, I'm very happy to hear you're saying that the trap did work if you just waited last night on British. We've looked at those British reports over and over, and the breakouts really are not trading well at all. But when we tested the trap, it was looking much better. Not incredible, but better. All right. Reverse continue, just one position, 40 and 40. 40 target, 40 stop. Remember, that's just a scalp. And then the NQ, and there's no law that says you cannot trade the MNQ. The bracket would be the same, an 80 bracket, and you want to use I would probably use a 200 tick stop. That's interesting that the breakout would have worked also. We know that that happens on trap trades for sure. All right, first things first, the trap trade is enabled. Our ES reversal is enabled, and our MES is enabled. All right. Now on the NQ, I'm not trading the NQ with money. All right. Um, but I suppose we need to track the NQ and watch the setup. We could always do it after, I suppose. I know last time we tested the MES and the ES, both traps on the screen at the same time. I'll watch the NQ today. So the NQ is a breakout, and the NQ triggers at 13. I mean, I'm tempted to trade just one contract on it, or MNQ. 13, 59, 59. But I really want to just concentrate on trading the ES, honestly. It's complicated to concentrate on multiple setups, especially on the FOMC. I would rather concentrate on one setup today. 1359.59 is the breakout. The bracket is 80. We've got targets of 40 and 80, which are pretty small. Why the target's that small? Because you could get a lot of chop, a lot of reversing. So I'm not usually greedy when I trade a report like this for big targets. If I was concentrating maybe just on the bracket breakout, I might do 100, 120 on the target with the NQ or the MNQ. I would use a break even minus 5 or something of that sort, even minus 10 on target one stop move for the NQ if the target gets hit. The stop is 80. That's a very significant stop for the NQ. It's a minimum of $400 per contract, okay? So keep that in mind. And like I said, I'm just simming the NQ. Let's check the brackets like we always do by making the times 0. And then when you enable a 0 time trade, you get a nice manageable bracket. That's why we're doing that. The market got bullish all of a sudden, right? It sold off a little bit. It's very much expected that the Fed isn't going to do anything. That's the expectation, that they will not do anything. So the setup, 1359.59. Bracket is 80. Stop is 80. Targets can be anywhere between 20 and 150. I mean, that's being truthful. It's not unreasonable. So most everyone is expecting the Fed to just keep things the same. I am listening to the Squawk Box in my headset. When we set up these trades, we do create spike sheets. Remember what the spike sheet is? So we also sometimes create a spike sheet for breakouts where we just look at how much the report has been spiking. And it spiked 85 last session, 185 previous session in March, December and January, 100. 100. That's another reason my targets would probably be under 100, okay, on the NQ. The NQ certainly can move on this report, okay? It can certainly move. Now, I totally accept the fact that I could, seriously damage my account on this trade today. It is the way that this all works. If you take the trade, it means you take the risk. If we put the time on 0, we can see where our tiers will line up if the trade were to take place right now. Now, when you do that, it's recommended if you do that, put everything on sim. So if you get a burst in price, an unexpected burst in price, you don't want to get filled 10 minutes before the news, right? But that shows us where our orders are going to show up. And you could adjust your chart so it's manageable. And you don't cancel a trap trade by clicking X's. You can hit the close button. Most commonly, you should press the trap enabled button in your control panel on Ninja Trader. That's the best way to cancel a trap trade. So now I'll go back, highlight the trap trade, put the time back to 13:59:55. Choose the account again and then apply it and OK it. Turn it on. All right. Now I do like the fact that our orders are well above the high. It means that we can test the high and then it could reverse at a test of the high. Also, the markets are, while they are bullish at the moment, the NQ, if you look at net change display in points, which is the correct way to look at the NQ, the NQ is pretty bullish, 75 points up. The ES in points. Not quite as bullish. Whoops, I'm looking at the wrong thing, so hang on. Turn it back on. Let me turn it off and get everything set right. Hang on, folks. Hang on. Let's get this set up right. 1359.55 account is correct. Make sure your chart trader matches the account you're trading. And then what I was looking for, the net change display, I want to put it on points. That's the way they calculate the ES and the NQ. So the ES is a little bit bullish also, 20 points. Your funded account won't let you trade the FOMC. What error are you getting, Nitin? I can't believe I just heard a disconnection. Hi, Chantal. Nitin, are you getting an error, or are they just saying you're not allowed to trade certain news? It's not allowed. Okay. Now remember, if you want to reduce risk, you can trade MES. Right now, the market's definitely bullish. FOMC, CPI, and non-farm payroll is not allowed. Is that something new, or was that always the rules? All right, it's only a couple of minutes, folks. So I'm just going to be paying attention really to the ES trap trade. Calvin, it really, it depends on how the market is chopping or not. It's not like I have a set time for it. Oh, I got you. Sorry. In a cash account, you need extra margin because the brokers raised the margin today. Is that what you're saying, collectibles? Is that what you're saying? All right, we're just patiently waiting. We've got a minute and 10 seconds for the news. Anticipation is that they will not raise the rates or obviously cut the rates is what anyone would think is going to happen. I will hear it in my headset what they decide to do. All right, 18 seconds. Orders will show up on the chart a couple of seconds, 5 seconds roughly before the news comes out. There's your orders. The news is now known. It missed our fill by one tick. One tick. Now, if it fills to the upskate, it's filled short. Now, it's filled one tier so far. One tier so far. Trying to be patient to see if we get a change in direction here. I'm not canceling anything yet. We can still get our target hit. Now, you can, it's too soon to cancel the outer tier. It's too soon. I'm canceling the outer tier, expanding the target down, bringing my stop to safety. If it pops up, it's going to take me out of the trade for a small winner. I'm going to try to trail if the price continues down. If it pops up, it'll be a small winner. Top of the candle, expanding the downward target, trailing slightly, trailing slightly, just trailing slightly. Trailing as it goes down, I'm increasing my trail. Now I got a little more aggressive. Maybe too aggressive. I'm too aggressive. Now I'm top of the candle. Okay, it got me $358 profit. One simple contract. Now, trap trade should be canceled on your platform because it hit its target. Now, the question is, do you want to do anything else? So let's watch the market. Is this a downward move that's going to stay down? That's the question. Taking a small short in the MES, small short in the MES. Now, that's our cash account. So I'm extremely, extremely careful with it. If it keeps going down, I'll trail a little bit. If it goes up, it'll be a small winner. Okay, just a small little winner. I'll turn it off and turn it back on. Just a tiny scalp. Not very big. It changed direction. Now we just want to watch the price. Are we going to go and test the low? That's the question. Or is it going to go to the high? What's the market thinking about what happened here? What's the market thinking? Obviously, they left the rate the same. Had they not left the rate the same, the market would have exploded much bigger, in my opinion, in one direction. It would have exploded in one direction, much bigger, in my opinion. Okay? Now, I honestly am not sure what to do here. I want to be honest. It went down. The initial move was a short. It missed our first fill by two ticks. And then we waited and we let it still fill us short by going back up in that first minute. That's what happened. It missed the original fill. And then it never really challenged our stop. Okay? Our stop never got challenged, but if you notice, I did increase it by about 5 or 10 ticks. I did not want to get anything tagged just on volatility. I'm thinking it looks like we've got negativity here. It looks like the market is not liking this, right? Take one more small short. And like I said, I'm a paranoid trader. I'm not willing to trade for very much on the scalp because there's just no way to know what direction the market's ultimately going to go. There's really no way to know. All right, we got one target. Let's see if we could get another one. All right, another like $30 scalp. I'm a little bit gun shy on that cash account, you all. A little bit gun shy. I did not mean to turn on my breakout on the NQ. Forgive me. Turn off your breakout on the NQ. Let's get a roll call. Let's get a roll call. Yeah, I agree with Arthur today. I think, although you never know, it may go and test the low, Arthur. It may go and test the low. I think ultimately the markets would rather see the Fed cut the rates. I think ultimately that's what the markets really want. Are they going to get it? I don't know that they're going to get it. Now, if you all want to stick around and blow up in an account, um, we could do that and hang around for the news conference. It gets really, really volatile for the news conference. I do want to thank everyone on YouTube. Thanks for watching on YouTube. That was our FOMC trade today. Hit the like button. I don't know too many companies that are willing to trade the FOMC news the exact second it's released in front of people on the internet. You know, I think it takes serious belief in what you do. So thanks everyone. Hit the like button on YouTube. I'm going to turn off the stream and thank you again